Okay, in section 3 of chapter 2, we're going to talk about deductive reasoning. A couple sections ago, we talked about inductive reasoning, and today it's going to be deductive. Deductive reasoning uses facts, definitions, properties, and laws of logic to form logical arguments. The difference between the two, inductive and deductive, is that inductive uses an observation to make a conjecture or make a statement. Deductive reasoning uses fact, something that's already been proven true. The difference is you can see that a volcano is about to erupt, or you can have the fact that it has already erupted. There are two different laws that we use in deductive reasoning. These laws of logic, again, deductive reasoning uses laws of logic. There are two. We use the law of detachment. The law of detachment takes a true statement. Okay? It has a hypothesis and a conclusion, and it forms a new statement out of that. For example, we're going to use the law of detachment in these two problems. If two segments have the same length, then they are congruent. Not that hard. Two segments with the same length. That makes sense. If 1/2 an inch equals 1/2 an inch, then 1/2 is congruent to 1/2. That makes sense. You know that BC equals XY. So the length of BC is the same as the length of XY. What can you conclude about that? Well, you conclude that not only do they have the same length, but that they are congruent. That is using the law of detachment. The law of detachment is taking a true statement, like this, and applying it to what we know or what we have. That's like saying gravity takes everything that is up and pulls it down. You are up. You will be pulled down, for example. This is saying if two segments have the same length, then they are congruent. BC and XY have the same length, therefore they are congruent. Let's look at another example. Mary goes to the movies every Friday and Saturday night. Today is Friday. What can you conclude from that? Mary will go to the movies tonight. We took a statement that is true. Mary goes to the movies every Friday and Saturday night. Took what we know, well, I know that today's Friday, and make a conclusion out of that. Hopefully that's not too tough. There's another law of logic that we use, and that's the law of syllogism. And don't be confused by the word, okay? Just understand what it does. The law of syllogism allows us to take two statements, an if-then and an if-then. What we do is we take the hypothesis of one, the conclusion of the other, and we form a new statement. The reason we can do that is the hypothesis and conclusions cancel themselves out here. And you'll see what I mean. But we can form a new statement. Let's actually just jump right in and practice a couple. We're going to use the law of syllogism. If Rick takes chemistry this year, then Jesse will be Rick's lab partner. If Jesse is Rick's lab partner, then Rick will get an A in chemistry. After we read those two statements, let's actually write them out. If, and then Rick takes chem, then Jesse will be his partner. Let's write the next one. If Jesse is his partner, then Rick gets an A in chem or chemistry. And what you should notice is that this statement about Jesse being his partner occurs twice. what we can actually do is we can use that information and cross that off. And the new statement we form is this. If Rick takes chem, then Rick gets an A in chem. The reason we can do that is because assuming that Jesse is his partner is also assuming that Jesse will help him get an A. So we can actually cross it off when we form a new statement. Let's look at another one. If x squared is greater than 25, then x squared is greater than 20. If x is greater than 5, then x squared is greater than 25. Identify what occurs twice. What occurs twice is this. If x squared is greater than 25, x squared is greater than 25. It occurs twice. What we can do is we can cross that off. And our new statement reads, if x is greater than 5, then x squared is greater than 20. Not that hard. The law of syllogism allows you to cross out what is being used twice to create a new statement that is true. Let's review. Let's go to the law of detachment. The law of detachment, you take something that is true and apply it to what you know. Like Mary going to the movies Friday and Saturday nights. Tonight is Friday. So you can conclude Mary's going to the movies tonight. The law of syllogism allows you to take two statements that are both true, cross off what is being used twice, and write a third new true statement. Now, hopefully you aren't too confused by this. Hopefully this makes sense to you as far as the law of detachment to write a new statement, and the law of syllogism to write a new statement. Let's take a look at your homework for tonight.